all right.
And it being a good
We'll
series.
see what happens. Here we go. Let's go.
Make it through this week pretty healthy.
Yeah, kind of like I said on Monday, the one thing that is really good for us is we're getting healthier. We've obviously dealt with a lot during fall camp and dealt with a lot early in the season, but I think we're as healthy as we've been, going into, a really important time into the season. So that's a good thing for us and continue to get healthy. So that's positive.
They're averaging, 84 plays or so a game. I read somewhere they went so quick last week they couldn't even. There was a punt or something. I don't remember exactly what that play was that Grove messed up. But anyway, how do you counteract that defensively?
Well, again, I think it's so much about situational football. They're going to get a lot of yards. They're going to do good things because they're really, the tempo allows that to happen. But again, I think it's where you got to get off on third down and you got to win situational football. You got to be great in the red zone. And those are things when you're talking tempo offenses, especially elite tempo offenses like they are, you've really got to do a great job in terms of situational football.
Will you try to go fast too, offensively? I mean, keep your same pace, or will you try to slow down a little bit?
Well, I think we just got to be, again, you want to try to control the pace of the game the best you can. And so, I certainly don't think offensively we can vary from what's given us chances to be successful. So, I think our offense and defense and special teams playing got to try to match each other and give us the best chance at the end of the football game to win the game.
Is that tempo tougher for a defense physically or mentally as they try to diagnose things?
Yeah, probably a little bit of both. I think when you're playing that, a mental piece of it is getting a signal and getting lined up. That's hard to do consistently throughout a game, and I think that's what Baylor's offense has thrived on is teams not getting lined up, and then they're big playmakers making big plays. And then, I think the physical piece of it is if you can't roll in a bunch of players or, you don't get a stop to be able to get new guys into the football game, then it certainly can wear on you physically as well.
Does that force coaches, coordinators to try to think even further ahead, given how fast the plays have got to come in and decisions got to be made?
Yeah, I think that football's changed so much in the last 4 years that I think it has forced you as a defensive staff and an offensive staff to number one, play that way at times, but number two, prepare for playing that way at times. So, it's something that we've got in our own arsenal and obviously we faced, but not to the speed and, the experience that they have. So it's a great challenge.
How much is continuity on the offensive line? I guess a couple of weeks in a row of the same guys helped fuel them. No sacks allowed last week, for instance.
Yeah, I think that was a big help, and I think that group is starting to settle in. As I said earlier, Nick Fed playing 3 positions in 3 weeks, that's really, really hard. I think it says a lot about who he is and what his ability level is, but, I don't think you ever want to do that. That's not that's not the exact situation you want to have. So I think that's certainly been a positive. I think that group continues to work well together. Are they perfect? No. Do they have a lot of work to do? Yes. And do they continue to work really hard at it? They do, and that's a positive.
Having Troy and Darren back this week, what's that been like to kind of be around them and to talk to them?
Even last Friday, being around our kids and, you go down before the game and our kids are asking to get their picture with them and, those guys sitting in the locker room around our players. To me, again, when you talk about a great football program and trying to build a program that stands for the right thing, it's great to have former players, especially somebody like those two that are back in your program around your kids talking about what success is, looks like, feels like. Here's a guy that's going in the College Football Hall of Fame and, for a collegiate student athlete, as big of an honor as you possibly can get. So it's been great to have them around. It's great to have them around our players and our facilities, and I just hope they keep coming back around because it's great to have them around our team.
Do you know much about Troy Davis before you came here?
The only thing I remember a little bit is I'm a big fan of the Heisman voting, and certainly, when that went down, and certainly him and Coach Mackware, went to that, I certainly knew the name and recognized the name, and obviously the success. And I know Darren then, as I learned more about it, and it's a really impressive story. But I knew a little bit about him obviously before I came.
Darren's got a son too.
Darren does have a son. He does have a son, and we do know that. We do know that. Anything else?
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, guys, have a great week. Yep.